Hello and welcome to the Let's Backflip show. I'm Ryan Frame, creative director here at Backflip. John Shoemaker is joining me along with Jeff Bell, our editor.
Sup.
And resident movie awesome dude. So that's your new intro.
It's a great intro. It's going on my business cards.
And
we will get
John doesn't get a title. We'll just move on. Everyone knows John.
Hey-o.
He's the guy who dances in the staff page, so that's worth checking out. So today we're talking about useful tools for film editors you may not know. And this is not film editors that you may not know. It's useful tools that you may not know.
That film editors could use.
That you may not know.
That you may not know.
Yeah. So
lots of people we don't know. I don't know myself, so that's a great start.
It's true. Yeah. This is Jeff. Yeah. What does that mean?
I mean, it's an entity that knows things, but not worthwhile things.
Is Jeff like a little person who lives inside of you?
It's a tiny little alien. He lives in my head. My head will open up.
Yeah.
We'll see.
So is this Men in Black, or are we going like Guado?
I will do Men in Black. Were you going to go the route
well,
of like...
You did point to your stomach.
That's true.
So.
You going the route of the Total Recall? Was that kind of where you were going
exactly.
for? I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Would you say Stranger Things?
Yeah, isn't it that monster that goes...
I don't know. I haven't seen that yet. Is that season 2? Are you revealing season 2?
I don't think so.
Wait, are you talking about like Predator?
She's talking about the Demogorgon.
Does the Demogorgon have a mouth like that?
Yeah, it opens up.
It does.
It's like a very brief moment, the last episode of season 1, where you actually see it.
Yeah, I don't like seeing the monster because it makes it stupid. So maybe I just cut it out of my memory.
Ryan just erases parts of movies and shows that he doesn't care
It's way
for.
better when you don't have the movie, like in Signs or the monster. You know,
it's a good flashback to an episode from a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
when we were discussing that.
Yeah,
I go in and
good memory.
Yeah. Before I watch movies, I edit them down to what I want them to be, and then I watch them.
Hey, you don't knock that. I may or may not have done that.
And you have the like the definitive versions of
the Star Wars, the prequels.
Franchise. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so the better versions.
And working on a version of Pirates of the Caribbean.
You can find them on BitTorrent at www.bittorrent. I don't know what the...
Don't tell George.
I don't know what the URL is.
Or tell him. Maybe I'll... He doesn't matter anymore.
I have a phone call scheduled, so...
With George, good.
I won't mention it.
Let him know that...
Your secret's safe with me.
He'll be like, I was re-editing my movies too.
I don't like when other people edit my movies, but it's okay. I've seen them.
Oh, man. That'd be a good costume, like to be like a half frog, half George. That's mean.
Frog Lucas.
That's terrible. We should get back on track to useful tools for film editors you may not know about. Jeff,
what's up?
What is one tool that film editors know about them, but we don't know about them?
Well, okay, so I guess
who titled this?
I don't know, but really, I guess what we could do. So the way that I approached it was I went after the tools. I went after the tools that I use that I don't, because I know a lot of editors
that are maybe not common.
That maybe are not common. They're the ones that I have found that have helped either productivity or have helped, just general day-to-day activities when it comes to any kind of editing that we've done. So like the first one would be a program called Free File Sync. So we're going very basic.
Free File Sync.
But as any part of, but there's a part of any editor, a lot of editors, unless you can pass it off to an intern or you have an assembly editor, but still an editor.
Do you think we should pass it off to an intern? I guess we have to do it unless there's an intern.
Unless there's an intern. Well, he didn't give you a title earlier, so I don't know what you actually do here.
That's true. John Shoemaker, podcast intern.
Yeah, podcast intern. But no, the piece of software that I do use is it's called Free File Sync, and the good point or the
what does it do?
Well, what it does, thank you, because I was stuck in a loop in my head of just going.
Also, in real life, we saw that. You saw the loop.
It's a little spinning pie from the Mac OS.
I love it.
Waiting for a reboot. So the piece of software does is it's very much so like Red Giant makes a piece of software called Offload. Offload you tell it, hey, here's the card that we just got done filming on, here's the destination point or multiple destination points, and then it backs it up, then it scans. What Free File Sync does, first off, it's free, which is cool, but what it does is it actually allows you to synchronize 2 different folder locations. I primarily use it as the offloading because it offloads quicker, and what it'll do is I also use it for backing up all of our projects as I go. So we can do a project, I will point at the project folder, I'll point at our server backup location of it, and I'll tell it, hey, synchronize this. It goes through all the files in there, finds anything that's different, if it'll look for, hey, this file is here, but there's an updated version or there's a newer version or there's it's a bigger file size. Do you want to overwrite this?
Okay.
So it kind of go through all that. It does all the guesswork for you, because I have done countless projects where, like, okay, I have the footage and the audio on here. Maybe I've done a backup at some point, but then buried in the subfolders. Oh, well, I uploaded or I added 2 more images that we didn't have 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
It gets out of sync. And
I don't know where that is anymore, and I don't remember. Well, did I update this file? We already have it on there, but was that the more recent? Like, it takes out the guesswork, because at a glance it gives you a side-by-side comparison of, hey, this is what's going to change. Do you want to change that file or not? And then I can tell, no, I don't want to.
And Offload is a really good program.
Yes.
But there's a few limitations with it. So it's really great. I used it. I was working DIT on a set one time. And needed to keep everything organized and needed to make sure that I was backing things up in 2 locations and getting verified backups. So Offload gives you like a checksum verification.
Yes.
But the limitations, there's 2 major limitations that don't work for every workflow. You can't do raw files, because you can't handle the raw, like the multiple, because most like raw formats are going to be recording like in frames. So you have all these.
It can't do raw.
Thousands.
It cannot do raw.
Oh, really?
It can't comprehend the raw
How
files.
dumb.
And it can't. It's not good for updating a file location. So it's good if you're in the field, specifically doing DIT, and you take a card and you put it in and run it onto another drive or multiple drives, and then verify that those are there. But it's not good if you're like, oh, I have, like in our workflow where you're working on multiple machines, maybe an edit's happening here and then it gets moved to a different machine, maybe some files changed. Offload is not good for that situation. So
does free file sync do checksum or do file verification?
It doesn't do the file verification, and that's the one thing I kind of wish it would do.
Well, it does a different type.
It does do a check just to verify, because it goes across, or it goes against file size, date of like creation or modified, because that's how it can detect whether or not, hey, it'll go, oh, you have 2 files of the same name, but the one on the machine is larger file size, was modified recently compared to this one. It assumes then you're probably going to want to copy it over, because that's a newer version of whatever that was. And that's why it does do some checks to verify that everything has been moved over. And I've never had problems with it. And I've moved between PCs and
that's what I was going to point out.
Macs.
Right. So that verification, that checksum is important. But now, in the process of having used free file sync, I'm not aware of any issues that we've had with corrupted files.
No, I've never had it. It's copied over exactly as it is from the drive, or for like the card or my local drive. It copies exactly as is onto our server or onto an external drive or whatever, and it does it fairly quickly too. I mean, I'm actually transferring files right now using it, and it's going at like 115, 120 megabytes a second, so it's going pretty quick.
Oh, nice, yeah.
From a card to an external drive, just so that way footage can be taken elsewhere.
I'd be interested to hear if anybody who's listening has had file issues, corruption issues that they then use Offload or use some other similar system to checksum or to verify your file is the exact same file. Because unless we run into that, like we've had things corrupted in camera, we've had things accidentally corrupted when you're using it on a computer, but I don't think we've ever really had like a transfer corruption,
And the only specific instance that the checksum would catch is if the file comes out with the exact same size and the same name and all of that, but something is corrupt about it.
Yeah, that's true.
And that would be pretty low likelihood, I think.
That's very specific.
Because if you get something corrupt, usually the file size is going to be wrong, because it'll be like something will be off.
Right.
Yeah.
It's worked for us.
And it's so, I could not tell you the last time we had a corrupted file.
Yeah.
Truthfully. Like,
You can tell us.
No, I can't. My
so
job depends
last
on
month's
it.
podcast that we recorded 10 minutes ago is gone.
No!
You guys never see any of that. Doesn't matter to you.
There was that card you handed me back that you're like, yep, man, this is good. And I was like, did you transfer that audio?
Somebody just put it on my desk. I didn't know that was a card. I honestly thought that was one that I'd already offloaded.
That's also why you always check with your offload, your editor, your DIT, or whatever before you clear a card. Because I got it into the Zoom, and I was like, 0 minutes left. just gonna double check. And he's like, oh, I haven't transferred any audio. Boom,
Nope.
figured it out.
Wasn't aware of audio.
See, that's a gray matter issue, like the issues in here. And really, I'm pointing at you. No, I'm not.
Oh,
I just chuck
blame
things.
the
I
intern.
chuck things at Jeff's desk and expect him to understand what's going on.
That's a less useful tool.
Yes, but at the same time, still useful because we did not lose any data.
That's true. Teamwork.
Teamwork.
High five.
That's number 2 on my list. So that's all I got. So
all
thank you
right.
guys.
Wait, teamwork is number 2?
Yeah. No, well, I do want. I mean, I guess, real quick as a sidestep possible alternate one, but I wasn't going to bring up.
No, that's cool. Let's build the physical space with our metaphors.
And I like. This is a pretty big space. So my metaphors are usually about 1 plank wide.
All right,
this
so
is perfect.
I step 1 step to the left. What do I see?
We're playing DD all of a sudden.
Yes.
I'm okay with that. No. So I guess another possible tool. This is lesser known. But I wanted to bring it up though. Is you got to do shortcuts, keyboard shortcuts when you're editing. It's not a tool.
Is this our number 2?
This is unofficially our number 2, just because I do want to make sure that it gets brought up.
Do we have an official number 2?
Well, I do have an official number.
So let's call this 1.5.
Okay, this is 1.5. This is 1.6.
Yeah,
because it's not entirely. But
no, it's good. It's good though. Yeah,
keyboard shortcuts are definitely an important tool to have for your editing software. And I guess it doesn't matter what you use.
Or any tool, yeah.
Any tool, because and a lot of people don't tend to use them. A lot of people are limiting themselves to the keyboard or to their mouse. Yeah. And like the space bar on the keyboard. And anytime you want to choose between, any of the cutting tools in Premiere or any of the moving tools, people tend to just click. Yeah, right. Cut. Click back to this one. Move, click back to this one.
I know I do, and that's the big difference between when John and I edit and when you edit. Mm-hmm. When you edit, there's like
don't throw me under the bus. I know some of those shortcuts.
Jeff will do this. He'll just be like, okay, we're going to insert that in there. Let me just done. And a click might be just to make a window big. You might not even use that.
Sometimes it's just for sound.
Yeah, but it's all on the keyboard, and it's all so fast, and I'm like, oh dang.
Because it's helpful.
Let's do a quick keyboard shortcut test. What's the pointer?
Pointer would be V.
Slip edit.
That'd be are you cutting? Are you cutting all of it? What are you doing? You're slipping.
Just a slip
everything.
tool.
I actually have an additional keyboard shortcut, so that way wherever my header is, it's Q in the keyboard.
He's trying to outdo me. Yeah. Rolling edit.
Rolling edit. Well, that'd be what is that one? It's this finger on my keyboard. I'm so sorry. It's
R?
What is it? QWE. So it's actually I think it's E. I think I have it as E. E or an R. It's one of those two.
This is a failed test.
You ask him some questions, Mister. I know so much stuff over here. Don't lump me in with you.
It's one of those things where I made the keyboard shortcuts a long time ago based upon where my hand rests on the keyboard because. Mm-hmm. Eons ago.
Here we go. This will be fun.
Pinky and ring finger.
I know I've seen Jeff do this. Ready? And you're part of this. It's a competition. Here we go. Go to the end of the clip.
Was I supposed to say it, or was I supposed to just do it?
What's the character? What's the character? Go to the end of the clip.
Go to the end of the clip. So it'd be the down key, down arrow.
I was going to use page down.
Page down will take you to the page down. Page down will take you to the end of the timeline.
Oh, you got learned.
Well, I only had one clip in my timeline. You didn't tell me.
Fine, fair enough. That is okay.
Let's see. What about insert clip at edit point?
Oh man, like the one that you're using. Yeah, you're.
Or comma.
You're making me look bad here, Jeff.
Oh, hey, no. Well, I don't do that. That's the thing. I mean, I
used to. Okay, it's not a fair comparison because I used to work as an editor for.
That's true. Yeah.
Years. And then I did a lot of editing, and then we hired Jeff, and then I forgot it and just stopped.
No, it's a very fair comparison.
But so keyboard shortcuts would be the one tool that it's very loosely tooled.
Hey,
but it helps.
And that's how I read my email.
All keyboard shortcuts.
Yeah.
You don't need to move.
I don't click anything. Yeah.
Your
up
right
and down,
hand doesn't need to move.
A. I don't actually know what the schedule buttons are. There's probably scheduling buttons. That's the one time I click to schedule an email in the future, to read it in the future.
The only time I actually move my mouse or move my hand is if I'm scrubbing back and forth in the timeline, or I'm hovering over one of the windows in Premiere or After Effects to make it large, or or playing Halo.
If I'm trying to get the YouTube video that I was watching restart
it again because I'm like, oh man,
I'm trying to hit pause real quick so nobody sees it. I'm watching YouTube.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So keyboard shortcuts are 1.5.
Or 1.5.
Right.
So number 2.
What's
official
tool?
Number 2 would be, this is gearing a little bit more towards like visual or like motion graphics or visual effects or After Effects based editing or motion graphics basically.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of the direction I went for this one. That one is actually a plugin, but it's a tool. It's a piece of software.
Is what I'm thinking?
I think it's probably what it's thinking. Yeah, well, it's this thing. It's the Motion plugin, Motion V2 from Mount MoGraph.
Okay.
I know. We've definitely talked about it. I know.
And it gives you nice natural animation, squeeze and pop.
Right.
And,
It is a just on the surface, if you look at the interface, it's a really clean interface. You can buy it. I think it's $35. You can buy it from Mount MoGraph.
Go out today.
It's a plugin just in After Effects. The two main features that I use just constantly when doing any kind of keyframe, any kind of motion graphic stuff, there is a ability, because when anybody who's done anything in After Effects knows, when you draw a shape, or if you crop something, or you mask something out, or you do a new comp, the anchor point, and I don't understand why, the anchor point is wherever you clicked last. I have this little circle. I drew a circle. The anchor point is not in the middle. The anchor point is over here somewhere.
Yeah,
because that's where I clicked.
Yeah, of course.
So now,
why wouldn't it be there?
All of my properties, scaling, rotations, all that stuff is based upon your anchor point over here. Well, you could click and drag it in the middle, or you can do some other thing. This plugin, you click on your layer. It allows you. There's what
centers it
6, 9 buttons. You can click in the middle, and boom! It's right now. The anchor point's in the middle, smack dab in the middle of it with one click,
without having to guess, missing it or
right. That's the big thing that I use it for constantly.
Yeah.
The other one is what?
Come on, Adobe.
I know. Like you feel like that should just be.
It's like they don't use their app.
I sometimes don't think they do.
Yeah.
But then the other part of that plugin, it allows you to do really nice keyframes, really nice.
That's what I love.
Because you can get into the graph editor and you can drag things out and make it your own way. This kind of just it's 3 sliders.
It's such a great starting point.
Oh, it's so good. And then you can refine it after that.
Yeah. But just to select them and go, give it what is it? Momentum, or I forget the buttons. I've only used it a few times, but oh my gosh, like I would spend so much time doing that to keyframes instead of having just something go like that's the worst in motion graphics. People like real animation techniques in motion graphics, which is like
right. And you could sit and you could, in theory, do that by hand by selecting this keyframe, and adjusting and looking. Or you can select both of them and drag your slider and watch it, and drag it a little more and watch it, drag it a little more and watch it. There you go. Like it's done. I don't have to fine tune both and mess around with it.
You don't have to play with the spleens.
Right, which is just weird. I prefer liver, but spleen is okay.
Yeah, I don't have one.
What was this tool called again?
It's called Motion V2 from Mount MoGraph.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
$35.
$35. It's completely worth it. I've had it for 2 or 3 years now, and I have used it every single time I have done any.
It's probably after like all those conversations of like, can we ease that a little?
Yeah.
Can we ease that a little more?
Because basically it just refines the easing in it. Plus it's got some other buried things, like it has a sort, so it'll just by a little drop down you can tell sort. It goes through your entire Premiere or your After Effects file. And it sorts everything by comps, images, audio, PSD files, and it color coordinates all of it.
In your project area?
Yep. And it does it within a half a second. And then it puts them in subfolders and it sorts
and it gives you other animation things like
It's
bounce.
really nice.
So not just easing, but bounce and gravity, or I don't know.
It has some nice presets, and it does expressions, so that way, hey, you have 2 keyframes, one that starts at 0% for scale, one that goes to 100. That's all that your thing does. You can select both of them, and there's like a bounce, there's a grow, there's a shake, there's I don't remember, like there's a warp, and it will automatically add all the appropriate expressions and then add all of the effect layers to adjust that expression on that layer, literally a click of a button, and then you can modify it so it, the scale kind of just like goes like this. Can
you imagine somebody like actually developed that? They're like, it doesn't work, so I'm going to develop it myself.
I know. Mount MoGraph dude is a genius.
I love you, Mount. That's his first name.
Maybe
MoGraph is his last name. I'll just keep talking.
The runner-up, was I used to use Sure Target from Video Copilot.
Oh yeah.
But I think you had to set up a lot more. You had to go in and like get everything set up, and then you could use some of these like sliders and things.
So I use Sure Target a lot for a camera. Could you use it more than just a camera? Because like Sure Target moving around a 3D space, going like from here to there to there. That's how I use Sure Target.
Oh, I suppose. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, if you're doing your motion with a virtual camera, then
But it gave you
it's
all
gonna-
that. Like you could do your roll, you could do easing, and but it's an old plugin
Yeah.
that never got updated. You know, Video Copilot, they're great. They still release software, but you know, it's 5 years old or longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. All right, what's number 3?
Okay, third one. This is the last one I got that I could come up with, mostly because the fourth one would have been just more VFX stuff
be
that
an
I
even
didn't
number,
want
too.
to. I didn't want to talk about. Yeah, that's weird,
The
right?
fourth one is keyboard shortcuts.
Is keyboard shortcuts
Again.
No, 3 is of all things, it's Frame.
Frameo?
Frameo.
Frame.io.
Frame.io.
Yeah.
Well,
one of our clients calls it Frameo. Is it Frameo?
Well, that's
or is
how
it frame?
you say it in Spanish.
Oh, yeah. Dang it. Amigo Falso. There we go. Tango Uno Amigo Falso.
You're not telling the truth, right?
No.
Okay, good.
That's what you were going through right there. I was just vamping because I couldn't tell what was going on.
My head was like, wait, really? Wait, do I just not remember my school?
Where it's up in Frameo? Did you
Frameo?
put it in Frameo? I don't know why I'm like a small Spanish person.
No.
Like a small dainty Spanish.
He said no.
That's your Mario.
Framayo.
Luigi.
It's not Frameo.
Frameo.
So
Frame.
you-
So
Let's-
Frameo
I think it's frame. I think it's frame.
I think it's frame. That's
Yeah.
how I always pronounced it.
Yep.
But I know because you introduced that piece of software, and I use it.
Yeah.
We use it almost
Well, because in the
all
past,
time.
we would have Basecamp, and then we would have a YouTube video in Basecamp. People comment below it,
Right.
And it was nice because Basecamp would load up the image or the video. Then we went to Basecamp 3, didn't have that, so then looked around, and at the time there was only 2. There was Frame and Whipster. Whipster.
Which are
very similar.
I've used Whipster. I like Frame better.
Yeah, I like Frame from our perspective
Right.
a lot better. The tools, I guess I'll let
For me.
For me, I'm not going to say everybody else should have it, but yeah. So tell us a little bit more about the features.
So Frame, just for anybody who may not know or who've never used either
Who's hiding
Frame
under a rock
or Whipster,
if you're an editor?
I mean,
Oh.
come on, people. Frame is an online piece of software. You don't have to install anything, but it's a place where you can upload your videos. So, hey, we did a pass of this project for a client, and we are uploading it to this place. It's basically it's a video viewer like YouTube and all that. They can be the client can be invited in, or just anybody else who you want to watch it. And while watching it, it gives you the ability to add comments to directly write on a specific time code. So if they get to 2 minutes in and like, oh well, there's a guy just standing on the left hand side of the frame. Is this something we
Right.
can cut out? It'll pause the video. They can make their comment. I can see who left the comment. There's rudimentary drawing and arrow tools built into it. So if there's a guy on the left-hand side of the frame. Well, there's 4 guys on the left-hand side of the frame. Which one are you talking about? They can select, they can
Right.
actually draw the guy or draw around the guy with their comment. And I can go to their comment and go, oh, that guy. Okay, yes, we can
Right.
crop in.
Which is great when we had special effects on the Thermistor video. I was able to draw and be like, hey, can we do something like this here or this over here? I'm noticing, what is that? And
Right.
then it just really helps get at that conversation instead of just comment somewhere in a list
Right.
that is not attached to the video, because then you can watch, and as you're watching, those comments pop up
Right.
and you can see what those comments are and where they're talking
Well,
about.
I think sometimes in other workflows, like if you're watching on YouTube, sometimes what we would have clients do in the past is like they'll make a comment, be like, right around the 2-minute mark, something, and then they have their comment.
Right.
Well, you go in and you find out it was at 2 minutes and 27 seconds.
Right, it
and
wasn't
a lot
at
of
the
clips
2
have
minutes.
gone by since then, but they just. Oh, I saw it was 2 minutes, and we can get there, but there's a lot of communication, a lot of time.
Yeah, there's
lost.
there's a lot of breakdown there in that communication. Yeah.
And it's nice to just have that list. Plus, that list allows you to, if there's 15 comments on it, you can sort it by the time code and go, all right, first comment, what do they got? Okay,
Which
they get
that
this.
kills me.
Boom.
It doesn't just default sort by time code.
I know, that's the one.
Why in the world would it default by the order that you put it in? Because I will go back and do things, and it's always out of order.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because sometimes I'll be
Talking
like,
to you,
ooh,
frame.
yeah,
Talking to you, frame.
yeah,
Hashtag-
we love you,
hashtag frame
we
IO.
love you, and that's why we're giving you this hard love right now.
Yeah. Sometimes
Fix it. We've submitted this stuff too. Fix it. Fix your shit. That's what we say.
Just like that, just
Yeah.
angrily like that.
Yeah.
I say it even when I'm not talking to Frame.
They're not getting any
Just
of our
Tourette's
comments,
to yourself.
Apparently not.
Because we're sending it to Framio, and
And that's not
some
the
guy's
website.
like, "What is this?"
And I speak with a Teteo. I don't. What if they think that they're talking about this Framio?
No hablo inglés.
He's in Spain or Catalan if they've seceded. I don't really know what's happening over there right now.
Ugh, life is hard in Spain. That's crazy. What is that, like Texas seating? Like,
Yeah, they're just like, no, because we think like this, we want to be our own.
Like, okay,
I
bye.
probably just
Apparently-
cut that part out.
Apparently, the majority of people don't want to cede from the Spanish, country.
Apparently, I don't.
The
want-
Spanish country.
Apparently,
From
I don't
Spain.
ever want any clients from Spain.
Well, we've
That guy's
ruled
a
that
jerk.
out.
Catalan.
Meanwhile, we had like some $1 million
Caroline.
Spaniard was just watching the video up until going, I'm going to give them all the
Yeah,
money.
he has all my money.
Wait,
He's
Getting ready,
Catalonian.
He was typing.
Wait!
Never again.
Jorge!
No!
Stop that email!
Don't send that email.
Do not send that email to him.
Email of money, is that a thing? Do you know?
Hey. Digital services.
So we love Frame.
I love Frame.
Yeah.
It's a great piece of software. It's really great to just organize notes, organize what has been done,
Yeah.
or to clarify changes and adjustments. And then they also have the ability that if I upload a new pass of the
Yeah.
video, they have what's called versioning, which allows you to basically
Side-by-side
stack
comparison.
side by side
Yeah.
of the video, so you can sit and watch. Hey, here's my edit 1, here's edit 2, and you can see exactly every cut I did, every graphic update we did on it.
That's a nice one that I like, especially when we're looking at color on things because monitors are all different. So then if there's something I notice on one monitor, I'm like, okay, let's do the change, upload it, version it, and then let's compare it on a couple different monitors
Right.
in that mode. And like, oh yeah, this is better, or no, it isn't.
It also helps for like trying out different music tracks. So if it's the same video, like, hey, video is locked, we're just trying to figure out what the music's going to be, you can switch between, because it only plays the audio of one video at a time.
And you can choose.
And you can choose between, it's like, okay, well, here's the first one, here's the new one, which, keep bouncing back and forth, which one do you like better? Okay, we actually like one.
And it's pretty frame accurate. I'm pretty sure they put a lot of money into that development of keeping it frame accurate, which is nice because then you can pause it and draw on a specific side.
Right.
One other question I had about that, I know they have integrations into Final Cut, but and Premiere.
Yep.
Do you use that? Do you like that? Is it useful? What would you like to see out of it?
I was using the plugin in Premiere. Basically, what it would do is when I'm done with my timeline, I can tell it through the plugin in Premiere, upload this video clip to
That's
the
right.
account.
That's right.
And what it was doing at the time was that it would render it off and then it would upload it. It was right at the start of it. I haven't used it since then, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But right after it first came out, and there was a lot of just communication error. It would almost be like it would time out with the connection to the website.
Like trying to upload.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would get done, it would start uploading, and then it would freak out.
I think it's
Bless
been,
you.
I think it's been broken for a while, but
Yeah.
I saw some messages recently about updates and things, and I think they were like, at least for Premiere 2018, I thought I saw something about them.
They
Like,
actually they fixed it.
fixing or being.
I would love to try it again because
let's do it.
what it would do is it would also, according, or at least from what I remember reading, was that it would also bring in the notes in the comments that people had made. So if I uploaded that video, if I uploaded it through the plugin,
right. It would bring them as
it would bring them in as like markers, basically,
markers, yeah.
right where
That's right.
people had left them. And
That's
so,
amazing.
So I would honestly like never have to actually go to the Frame website. I could just do it all in Premiere. And that was a
pretty cool.
nice, cool feature. And I kind of hope that it just the bugginess of getting it uploaded is fixed, because we use it all the time, and it would be a great plugin to just knock out one additional step.
Yeah.
Of me having to render and then go over to the website, then
That'd be great.
upload.
Take all of our money.
Take
Solve
all
that problem.
of the monies.
Yeah.
I have like $1.50.
Not that money.
Oh, not that money. I'm so sorry.
The frame money. Actually, they've been doing a lot of development.
the
They've gotten a lot of
The frame money?
frame. Yeah, that's how I say it in Spanish.
Fremio.
Fremio?
You are. Oh, Fremio is your last
Yeah.
name. Okay.
They always think I'm like
Italian now.
Asian or something. Like frame is that Asian?
like,
I'm like,
nope.
Racist.
That's an inappropriate thing to say over the phone. It's Norwegian.
Just because it ends with an NG.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
So, any other closing thoughts to sum up this episode?
It's mostly just, obviously
Keyboard
everybody is
shortcuts.
different.
We got
It's
it.
just keyboard shortcuts.
It's all keyboard all the time.
No, it's everybody works differently. All editors work differently, and you just got to find stuff that works for you. This is
Yeah.
some of the stuff that I found that makes my job a little simpler and a
Yeah.
little faster.
And if you haven't heard of them or used them, check them out. Cool. Thank you, Jeff, for talking to us. This is great. We're gonna dance to end. Here's how we end. Dance in, dance it out.
Dancing so much already today.
Dance more. You mean you danced last month?
Like we did last summer?
I danced last month.
I know what you danced last summer.
Wait, what? Is this different songs?
Yeah, welcome back to the John Shoemaker Show, where I take over when everyone leaves. And that's all we have for today.